downside is that now Rick is driving my car. That is the big negative.
And last night he was driving my 62 Savoy, and every traffic light he did a massive burnout.
Don't believe it. I wouldn't do that.
Oh, no, I got witnesses. Payback is a bitch.
Is it on film?
No.
That it didn't happen. So we'll go for a bit of a spin in my 63 D100 Dodge pickup truck. Something a bit different you don't get to see in Australia. As I've said before, even in America there's older vehicles you don't see very often anymore. Always got to have a pickup truck in the collection.
So what made you want to get one of these?
Like a lot of the cars I bought through the years, quite often haven't actively gone looking for a particular vehicle. They just sort of presented themselves. I call it falling in my lap. And I was on holiday with my family in 2000, so years and years ago, and in Adelaide, South Australia. And of course, when you're a car guy, when you're away, you're always looking to see if things are around. And there was a few importers in Adelaide, and one of the guys, I decided to go and have a visit, so I dragged the family along. Part of their holiday, are they lucky? And had a look at this importer in South Australia, and had a look at what cars they had for sale. And right down the back corner of the building, or sorry, the back corner of the yard, was a little shed, a little carport, and sitting in there was this pickup truck, covered in dust. And I asked about it, and I said, what are you doing with the truck? He goes, oh yeah, I'll sell it. I said, what do you know about it? He said, I got it off the Air Force base in the Northern Territory. So it had been bought over by someone probably serving in the Air Force base in the Northern Territory, and was used up there for years. It only had like 50,000 miles, it wasn't a high mileage truck. And yeah, so that's sort of how I came across it. And he transported it down to South Australia from Northern Territory, then I bought it and had it transported to Victoria. So that was about, I think, 1999, something like that. And then I carried out a relatively quick restoration. I didn't go crazy on it. I just wanted to make it tidy so I could drive it, use it as a workshop truck, and this is what I come up with.
Just tell me a bit more about the driveline. What engine, what transmission, and what differential you have.
So when I got it, it had slant 6 with a 4-speed manual.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I like the slant 6. They're a torquey motor, but I prefer the V8. So I found a local, the Fury in America, but a Dodge Phoenix in Australia, with a 318 and a 727 with a bigger gearbox. So I parted that car out and I banged the 318 and the 727 in it. And then when I was in a trip in America in 2000 or so, I bought this shifter out of a picker part. It's a factory style shifter, and I got even the original floor mat, which is to suit the automatic. And kind of looks close to what it would look like, you know, as an original automatic.
You get between your legs, right?
Yeah. So let's jump out and have a quick look around it. Cool era, fairly simple pickup truck, designed just to do a job, but just got quite a nice style about them. I like the fact they're simple, plain. I think the bumper bar, the rear bumper with the tow hitch, has been on there from day one. I think it's like an optional or a bumper back in the day, like an aftermarket bumper that you could buy back when they were new. Nice having the great big long tray. A lot of people prefer the short wheelbase, but I quite like the long wheelbase. Just a cool looking truck. Just basically stock. The restoration, I didn't really go to any trouble with the engine bay, as you'll see. But kind of looks like it's meant to be in there. So 318, 2-barrel, 727. It's got an 8 3/4 in the back, which I had to do a little conversion on because these had the park brake on the back of the gearbox. So I had to put a earlier type backing plate. It's running a 3.9 rear. So it's quite zippy actually to get around town. It's really cool.
So one more question, or I've got a few more. But how long have you had this vehicle for?
Well, it's actually a funny story because I, as I said, did a sort of fairly quick restoration. I didn't go too big on it, and about 2000. Then I drove for about 7 years in 2007, and then I sold it. I sold it to a fella in middle of New South Wales. So then moved forward 14 years. So it was last year-ish that I was at a car show in Albury. We had every year, a Mopar show. And there was a guy there selling some cars, and he had a big picture board with a bunch of cars on it. And I'm sort of going through the pictures of all the cars, and right in the middle of all the cars there's this pickup truck. And I took one look and I thought, that's got to be my old truck, because you just don't see them. You know, you never see them around. It looked like mine. I asked a couple of questions, sure enough it was mine. So over the next couple of weeks I actually had to put it in the back of my mind. I had too many things on the go, and I thought, oh, I'll wait. So after a few weeks I eventually contacted the guy, and I was trying to get an idea of the condition of the truck, because I hadn't seen it 14 years, and we're in the middle of the COVID shutdown. We couldn't even go out of our state at the time. So I was asking a few questions about the condition of the truck, and I noticed on the board that he had for sale, he had quite a lot of cars for sale, and I thought, most guys with lots of cars really don't get to drive them that often. There's a pretty good chance that, you know, it's pretty similar condition that it was in before. So like I said, I couldn't go check it out myself. Anyway, I said, so the condition of the truck, I said, I can't imagine he would have driven it much. He had, as far as I could see, there like 50 cars. And he said, no, he said this fella had 700 cars in his collection. 700 cars and 1,500 motorbikes.
Wow.
And the fella had actually passed away. He was actually a barrister, and he passed away unfortunately from prostate cancer at 62, so it was pretty unfortunate. So another fellow was helping the widow sell the vehicles off. So when I heard that he had 700 cars, this guy would never have driven the truck. And I also knew that the truck had been in the shed, so it had been basically garaged for 14 years and not driven. So I bought the pickup truck back under those terms, and when it turned up, came in on the back of a truck. The parts that I'd put in the back of the tray when I'd sold it were still sitting there, and I had a bunch of fantail wrappers in the ashtray, which are probably still there. There you go. The fantail wrappers are still in the ashtray from me 14 years ago. So the truck came back. It was basically exactly in the same state that it was when I sold it, and all I did was I put a new set of tyres on it. I did go through the brakes, and that's basically all I did. I topped up the water. It hasn't leaked. It's never run hot since. It's amazing. After all those years, I just got back in. It's like it never left. So she's come home. So you don't get a story like that every day of the week, do you?
No, you don't. Okay, quiz time, Brian.
What have we got here? I don't know if everyone knows in America what fantails are. They're a little chocolate lolly. This one's torn.
We'll get another one then.
Get another one. And they have questions on them. And you're going to have to read that because it's too small.
Right. Australia and New Zealand stars. Hugo Weaving. Born Nigeria, 4th of the 4th, 1960. He arrived with his wife and family in Australia in 1976. Hey, I was born then.
Wow.
Wow. He graduated from NIDA in 1981 and made his debut maybe this time. No,
There's no question on that one. No,
No.
that's a crap. Sorry, that was a crap one.
Stars of today. Born 2000. What? It's just her. There's no questions.
Well, maybe we got it wrong. Maybe it's not questions.
Nah. It usually is a quiz.
So, the Fanta rubbish, you may not know it overseas, but these are just basically chocolates. I like sweet chocolate, so. And basically, it just has information about famous people. It tells you a little story about their life. Anyway.
Yep.
I don't know the significance, but the pickup truck had these two signs attached to it that actually riveted onto the truck when it was up at the Northern Territory. So I don't know the significance or how real they were, but it had left-hand drive for starters, but it had this one on the back. And so I'd like to know what that means, but interestingly, that's what was there. Anyway. 62 Dodge Polara 500 convertible. Very unusual car. I don't know what the production numbers of an actual Polara convertible are. I think they're about 3,500 of this body shape in a convertible made total production. Just a cool looking car. Having all the extras on it, being a Polara. It's got the factory 361 big block 4-barrel, factory dual exhaust, factory bucket seats. Just cool, just something you don't see. This is a car that you either love or you hate. And I like all cars really, but I also like to see stuff that's different. You get a bit, sick of seeing the same cars at the shows, time and time again. It's good to see something a bit unusual, and this is certainly one of those cars. I'll give you a look under the hood. It is missing its air cleaner, but apart from the rocker covers, very original engine bay, super basic. Like, have a look how simple it is. There's just nothing in there. So, easy to work on, the good old days. It's got its original style red and white interior. I don't know how much of it is original. I think the door trims are all original, untouched. It's got a lot going for it. It's got a few repairs it needs on the main floor, but nothing structural. There's nothing in the main floor of the car. It's just a tired, original sort of car. Not a survivor as such, but pretty honest. And something that would really clean up quite well. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know when I'm going to do it. At the moment it's just going to go at the back, and we'll see, wait its turn.
Oh, whoa.